Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Eye to Eye Live. It is Disney Hangout night. Thank you for being here, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. We really appreciate you guys giving a little bit of time to our channel whenever you can. So thank you for being here tonight. So on our weekly Disney Hangout, what we love to do is just exactly what the title says, hang out. But we usually have a topic to cover on tonight's show, and as always, I come prepared. There's been some pretty big news dropping in the past week for Disney, so we're going to cover some of that tonight as far as our main topic. But anything and everything is up for grabs in terms of what you want to talk about tonight. So this is a live show, so I'd love interaction. So as you're coming into the chat, please do make sure you tell me hello, whoever, or just whatever you want to do to let me know that you're here. I'd love to know who I'm talking to. And feel free to ask questions and interact along the way. I see a couple of people already popping into the chat window. One of those is Captain Akron. Welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. I think you're going to like, again, how you are positioning yourself on the top 10 list of our trivia nights, which we'll cover a little bit later in the show tonight. So you'll get to see that coming up just a little bit later here. Looks like Jacob Cacho is also here. He says hello. So as you guys are coming in and assembling, please do make sure you smash that like button and share it out if you can. We want to invite as many people to be here as possible because it was always more fun. We have lots of people to hang out with and talk to tonight. So with that being said, let me run through a couple announcements. What I would love to hear from you as we kind of get started tonight is if there's something on your mind besides the topic at hand, which is Bog Iger and his now retirement, well, semi-retirement, that we're going to be addressing and the things that come with that. We'll be talking about that in great detail. If there's something else like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars that you have on your mind tonight, let's try to go through some of those rapid-fire things that you maybe want to address right at the top of the show. So as I'm going through the announcements, make sure you go ahead and drop those in the chat window if you would like them to be addressed tonight. So starting off tonight, I want to remind you that we have had another edition of the Clone Wars Season 7 reviews. Episode 2, A Distant Echo, has just been dropped this past Friday. So if you haven't, please go make sure you try and give that a look. And obviously, if you've not watched it yet, don't go spoil yourself. But it is a good reaction and review, as always, from Jessica and myself. At the end of the show, we'll also talk about our Facebook group, Disney Through Your Eyes. And at the very end as well, we're going to reveal the top 10 list of our trivia nights. But we're also going to reveal the theme for this week. Although it's probably not that big of a surprise, let's be honest. If you're paying attention to Disney news, you probably know what it's going to be about tonight. So Jacob has brought up a good topic for us to start off with tonight, and that it being the WDW Jungle Cruise incident. I will counter you one, too, to go along with that. And it's kind of interesting timing with this news that we're going to be talking about tonight with Bog Iger stepping down, Bob Chapek stepping up, and as soon as that happens, these incidents happen. So the other incident in question is that I think a day after the Jungle Cruise thing happened, the Tomorrowland People Mover, also two trains collided. Not like head-on because they don't come head-on, but I guess one was stopped or somehow slowed down and the other came into the back of it. So I don't know of any injuries or issues other than some wet clothes and shoes for the Jungle Cruise and probably some jarred heads when the collision happened. If you know anything different, please do let me know about it. But the Jungle Cruise and the People Mover, what horrible timing for Bob Chapek. You're in charge of Disney parks, and like the day after you take over as head, your Disney parks have two incidents that are unfortunate. Not to mention coronavirus, Disney parks shutting down across the world. It's a bad time to be a Disney parks executive. That's all I'm saying. So what do you all think about that? Does it concern you? Is it just happen chance that these two things happened back to back? Any opinions about that? Is it something that you're not concerned about? I'll share a little bit about what I think about it in general as we go forward. Jacob asked about the trivia night theme, which we'll reveal at the end. Is it Onward? Only time will tell. You'll have to stay to the end or come back and watch it the end if you're not going to stay the whole time to find out a little bit later. But hey, maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. I don't know. So Jungle Cruise and the People Mover. The one that makes me more upset is the People Mover. I love the People Mover. The People Mover. If you forced me to get on the People Mover and that's all I could do for the rest of my Disney trip, perfectly fine with that. I could ride that thing all day and twice on Sunday and just be happy. It doesn't matter if it's morning, midday, nighttime. And if you've ever caught the fireworks in the Magic Kingdom as you're going around on the People Mover, man, that's some timing right there that's got to happen really, really well. Captain Akron says, I'm not concerned about these things. And I don't think you should be. I think it's very unfortunate timing for them to happen back to back, like I said, for Bob Chapek. But it's a coincidence. It's not like something's going on. But you know how the world and social media is these days. Nothing can happen without there being something behind the scenes going on or concerning. Some WD attractions need major refurbishments before the Magic Kingdom's 50th. And so let's this is going to actually kind of lead us into our main point of discussion tonight, which we'll get into maybe in about 2 or 3 minutes as we kind of wait for most people to get in here tonight. I think that Bob Iger got out of here at a good time because he knows that he's already set up the great things to come for the 50th anniversary, but he also knows the hard work that's going to have to go into prepare for the 50th anniversary. And he's like, peace out, y'all. I'm out of here because there are refurbishments that need to be done, a castle do-over that they've already announced. There's new rides coming in. Who knows what else they've still got to do to get ready for they've got a whole park basically in Epcot to completely redo. The only thing that right now I think that is not in a state of flux, I would say that Hollywood Studios is now settled, but Animal Kingdom is like the only thing that's like chill for the moment. And who knows what's going to come out. I know next year's the 50th, and then they'll have D23 in the fall, I guess it's technically the fall next year. Who knows what's going to come out then. But yeah, so how about this? Let's ask this, because I'm going with the people that are doom and gloom. It's a sign of things. If you had to say one was going to break down, which one would you give up? The Jungle Cruise or the Tomorrowland People Mover? To me, it's a no-brainer. People Mover's got to stay, so I'd get rid of the Jungle Cruise. I love the Jungle Cruise. I love the Jingle Cruise. I think it is one of the few things that still connects us to Walt and his personality, his sense of humor. I could though do without it. The line just doesn't move fast enough for me. But the People Mover, it's constantly doing what? Moving people. So that's the one that I would definitely want to keep around if I could tonight. But I think it brings up a great point, though, what we are seeing in now and move on towards the future. So if you missed the big news, I'll reiterate it again for those of you that may not be aware. But last week, in a surprise, only with the timing, not so much the actual announcement, Bob Iger decided that he was going to step down as the chairman, the CEO of the Disney Corporation. Now, if anybody has anything they can correct me on, if I'm saying anything wrong, please do put it in the chat window. But my understanding of the situation is that he is stepping down as CEO, but he is staying as chairman in a creative role. That's what he wants to focus on for the time being over, I can't remember the time period, but how long that's going to be. But Bob Chapek is stepping up, head of parks, attractions, merchant. It's some major title that he has. But they're going to promote him up, and then eventually it's kind of like shepherding him into the role and then moving on forward. So there you go. That's what's happening. It's not, I don't think a lot of people wanted to get worried about what this meant, the timing of it. Obviously, I think Bob Iger had timing with I think the surprise timing of it. I think there's probably reasons he wanted to get out now, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think he realizes that if he doesn't get out now, he may never get out because he's already tried to retire. There's a reason that he's had his book out. And I'll bring a picture up of Bob Iger for those of you that maybe have never seen him before, but that is your former president, CEO, chairman of the Disney company, Bob Iger. And he's going to be the main. I usually go through a list of things tonight, and I do have a list prepared for you tonight. But so, yeah, he's gone in some capacity, and the other Bob Chapek, is stepping up and role. It created so many discussions across the interweb. So how about this? Let's poll the room. And again, as you're coming in, please do make sure you smash that like button. How about this? Yeah, do you like Bob Chapek coming in as CEO? Yes or no, or thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever you want to. Yes or no is probably the easiest thing in the chat window. Don't put thumbs up on the video. Somebody's going to, but it doesn't matter. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your opinion. Jacob says, well, Eisner got rid of Disneyland's People Mover, and I never rode it at Walt Disney World, so I'd keep the Jungle Cruise. Oh, that hurts my heart a little bit. I really wish I remember, or I don't even know if it was still there, the People Mover at Disneyland. I went when I was 12 years old. I remember very few things about my time at Disneyland. One of the things being Toontown. But, yeah, it's People Mover to me is really special. But hey, everybody's got their opinions here. So Captain Akron first says, no, he is not a fan of the Bob Chapek move. And it looks like, let's see, Jacob said thumbs down as well. And then Danny from Two Real Geeks, he's on I-285. Only you and I know what that means. I don't think anybody else is from Georgia. Be careful out there, Danny, but thanks for stopping in. So how about this? I'd love to hear opposing views because I think it's fine. I have an opinion really. I'd say it's more positive. But Jacob and Akron, since you both have spoke up, share with me why you don't like the move because of Bob Iger stepping down and Bob Chapek stepping up into his place. I would love to know that one before I go into the things that tonight. What I'm going to discuss in my list is the 5 things, and we're actually probably late getting to that, but the 5 things that I am thankful for Bob Iger most. The things that he brought to the Disney company that mean the most to me, because and they're not going to be so obvious things, because let me bring our little marquee thing that we had back up here. I put in here all these big corporations. They're all the same corporation, but big entities that Disney is now part of their umbrella, whether that be Pixar, Marvel Studios, ESPN, Parks, Disney Plus, Lucasfilm, ABC. He was the head of ABC and so much more. So there's so much that we have to thank Bob Iger for. I got to get my Bobs right here tonight, and that's what I wanted to mainly do tonight. But since we've had the topic brought up, if you guys want to, please share why you don't. And this is a judgment-free zone. We're just trying to understand different points of view here, because like I said, my point of view on the situation is this. I think it's fine. I don't really have any hard feelings toward Bob Chapek, and to me, I've enjoyed everything that's been happening with the Disney parks for the most part, aside from pricing and things like that. But I also understand why those things are happening outside of Bob Chapek. So it's kind of those things you got to understand, the yin and the yang of it all. Captain Akron says, I wish he was more of a Walt Disney fan than a businessman. Okay. Well, so my take on that, Akron, would be, what to you showed that Bob Iger was a Disney fan? Because to me, from what I know about his history, there really wasn't a lot of connection for him and Disney outside of the ABC connection. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but I think I hear you on that, but I think everybody's got this pie in the sky idea that Walt Disney is going to be reincarnated someday. I don't know. like this is not me like dogging your opinion or anything like that. I just think that the whole I wish he was more of a Walt Disney fan is kind of like, well, Bob Iger wasn't that way. So, but we're happy with the way it turned out with him because he was a businessman clearly with everything that he bought. So there you go. In my opinion, Jacob says, Chapek has been known to choose the cheap alternatives while at the same time jack up the park prices. Iger was a businessman who let his workers be creative more than Chapek has shown. So here's a great there's a great point to your point there. One of the things that Bob Iger loves to be is part of the creative team. That's why he's not stepping down. He's assuming a creative role, still in his chairman role. So that makes sense, you know. But I think we should understand we probably got more of a business-minded man coming into this, and that's probably what's going to be needed for going forward. And let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. I don't think there's any more things to acquire out there, so I think the age of acquisition for Disney's over. I think what you're going to see now is a time of the parks being plussed, so to speak, preparing for a time where things are going to expand even further. And we can talk about that more a different day. But thank you guys for your opinions on that, and continue to share them if you'd like to. My water bottle's not working. Anyway, all right. We wasted enough time on that. Let me get into these are going to be my top 5 things, starting from 5 and going down to 1 that I'm thankful to Bob Iger for, that he brought to Walt Disney Company, but parks, anything and everything between you. And we'll start with my favorite things that Bob Iger brought for number 5, Kim Possible. Now, hold on, everybody. I know everybody's like, hold on. Bob Iger did not bring Kim Possible. Yes, that is true. There was a rule that my understanding that Eisner had in place before he left, that the television shows, the animated ones, wouldn't go past a certain point of episodes. Well, Kim Possible was a great series. And I remember getting on this bandwagon when we realized after their big movie where, and spoiler alert here for everybody, so don't listen past if you don't want to be spoiled on Kim Possible, but she and Ron Stoppable, her best friend, got together, and then it was just like over in that movie. We all wanted to know what happened outside of that, and we couldn't get that because there was this rule. As soon as Bob Iger came in, he changed that and said that if the show warrants it, we can have more episodes. So this is just my personal list. This isn't me saying these are the best things that he did. But for me, finishing the series, Kim Possible, I will always be thankful for. And that's why it's number 5, because it's not really a super important thing. But for me, it was really important. And if you have any thoughts, questions, or even disagreements with this list as we go along, please feel free to chime in on that. Let me go back here. Jacob's got some more thoughts on it. He said, Iger officially bought out Pixar when their original agreement with Eisner wasn't going so well and ending, and let them loose creativity until they started doing more sequels. I like OG projects. I like both. I like pretty much all projects that Disney, Pixar, Disney in general does. There's been few times that I've been like, no. And then as we're going along too, if you have your top 5 list or ones that you think should be in this list, keep chiming in on it. So this is number 4, ESPN. Most of you are like, oh, this is not even really Disney. Well, it is. It's owned by Disney. It was part of one of the things that Bob Iger, well, actually, I'm not even sure that he helped acquire it. Maybe it was. He's been here so long, it's hard to remember. But I'm pretty sure he helped acquire it. But there's been so much done with ESPN. Now, a lot of people will say that it's a drain on the company, and I really do get that. But I am very thankful for the upgrade in the amount of coverage that my favorite sports, especially college football, have in recent years and decades. And I think ESPN and Disney integrating have been a huge partnership in that. So that's kind of why that sits there for me. All right, we'll move right along. So number 5 was Kim Possible and its continuation. Number 4 was ESPN. Number 3 for me, Galaxy's Edge. So I know I can already hear this one. Why is it so low on your list of favorite things that Bob Iger did for you? It's the next two. One is not going to be a shocker for those of y'all who know me very well. The other is probably going to be somewhat not controversial, but can have discussion points on this one. But this one is important. I have always dreamed of Disney parks having a land dedicated to Star Wars. I had different ideas about how this should go, but I think the fact that we now have this place to go to, literally a galaxy far, far away, and feel like we're there, having personally experienced it. By the way, quick poll of the room: have you been to Galaxy's Edge? Yes or no? Let's see if you guys have. But I think this is one of the more important things that Bob Iger did during his time. And again, Bob Chapek had a big role in this thing. So if you're a big fan of Galaxy's Edge, remember Bob Chapek had a hand in that as well. So we obviously have him to thank for that. Turo Geek says, gee, heck yes. Oh, heck yes is I guess what he was saying. Yes, I think you obviously agree with that one there. It's one of the... Oh, he was saying, heck yes, I've been there too when I asked the question, have you been to Galaxy's Edge? Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. I hope... I get the feeling that had they not been so squished into the small area that was left for Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, that they could have done a lot more with it. But I'm impressed with what they did. Captain Akron says they have not been to Galaxy's Edge. What are you doing with your life, sir? You need to get to Galaxy's Edge. I will even grant you, stop watching this channel right now and go. Go. Don't go to work tomorrow. Go to Galaxy's Edge. It is amazing. Of course, there's the whole money thing, But yeah, so there you go. Galaxy's Edge is my number 3 most important thing. Let's talk about number 4. And this one shouldn't be a shock for those of you that watch this channel and know me very, very well. Spider-Man. Now, again, I think a lot of mine tonight have caveats, but Spider-Man, and while Disney does not own him, they do own, I guess, this iteration of him, but not necessarily the rights to do him all the time. But Spider-Man is, and the deal that Bob Iger made with Sony to bring him into the MCU it's surprising that this is not my number 1, because if you know me, there's a reason this guy hangs back here during our shows. I am a humongous Spider-Man fan. And the fact that Bob Iger was able to bring him to somehow convince Sony, who I have not been happy with because they keep running my favorite character and his franchise into the ground, finally brought them to the MCU and vicariously to Disney. The fact that we're going to be getting in California Adventure, Spider-Man there, is absolutely incredible. And it's another reason for me to get out there. So I will eternally be grateful to Bob Iger for one thing, and that is making a deal to bring Spider-Man to Disney somewhat. Jacob says, I still haven't gone yet. Still haven't gone to Galaxy's Edge yet. I have a trip in May for Disneyland, hoping the coronavirus doesn't grow even more by then. I was thinking about that today, just a little quick tangent. We actually have a trip too planned very soon. And I was kind of like, I just paid all this money and I didn't think about that. So, yeah. Yeah, let's hope that this thing doesn't spread any further than it is for many reasons. But a very minor reason is to not mess up our plans to go to Disney parks. Let's see. No, the Marvel hate that I have. DC for you? Oh, no. You are not a DC person, Danny. This cannot happen. Look, I like Batman and all that stuff too, but like Marvel is where it's at, my friend. That is where it's at. J. Jonas Jameson doesn't agree with that statement. Yeah, so look, Spider-Man is the man. And Bob Iger bringing him home to my place, at least partially, I can't thank the man enough. If he had actually been able to buy him out or convince Sony to give him back, I to this day, well, no, that was actually the Fox deal that I was talking about. But I think we have some stuff to give up to Sony that we would be probably willing to give up if we could. And I think that could probably get us Spider-Man completely. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. All right, so number 5, Kim Possible. These are my things that I'm most thankful to Bob Iger for. Kim Possible, ESPN, Disney's Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios. Now Spider-Man and the deal to bring him. And then my favorite thing that Bob Iger has brought to the Disney Corporation. And that is Disney Plus. Because Disney Plus involves all of my favorite things. Disney stuff, Pixar stuff, Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff, animal stuff, and National Geographic, even though I haven't watched a ton of it yet. But my goodness, how can you not love Bob Iger for just giving us one little package that includes all of our favorite things? It's awesome. Melissa's here. Nice to see you, Melissa. Thanks for popping in. Hope you and Walt are doing very well. We're talking about some of our things that we're thankful to Bob Iger, thankful that Bob Iger brought to us in our Disney fandom. So if you have anything, chime in on it. Danny says, I'm so DC. I do Six Flags over and have to. I got you. I got what you're saying there. Yeah, I've seen you guys go a lot over to Six Flags. So I understand why you're a DC fan. Look, it's superheroes. It's great. I love it. It's just not Marvel. It's not Spider-Man. You have Spider-Man, you win. I'm just saying. Yeah. So that is my list of my favorite things that Bob Iger has brought to the Disney company. We'll run through them one more time real quick for those of you that may be popping in late here. But thankful to Bob Iger for finishing Kim Possible, for bringing us ESPN and kind of expanding it, for bringing us Galaxy's Edge. Whoops, bring the other one back up here. For signing a deal with Sony to get Spider-Man into the MCU. And lastly, Disney Plus. Those are my favorite things. Let's do a quick poll of the room as we kind of wind down here tonight. I showed this in our little marquee at the beginning of all the companies that Disney now owns. Pixar, Marvel Studios, ESPN, Lucasfilm, Disney Plus, Disney Parks. All those things, or anything, ABC even. What is your favorite thing that Bob has acquired and brought to Disney during his time? We've talked about a lot of the smaller topics within that. But what is your most favorite thing that Bob Iger has brought to Disney? If I had to put a pin on it and say my favorite thing would be a favorite company or acquisition would be Marvel Studios. I am as Danny and I have been going on about DC versus Marvel, I am a huge Marvel guy. Spider-Man is my man, and the fact that I got a continuing story over 20 something and counting movies, TV shows, one-shots, Disney Plus series now, Netflix series. The fact that I had all of that combined into one cohesive unit was amazing. I love every bit of the Marvel Studio. So if you have a favorite thing that they've bought, share with it now. Melissa says Pixar and Marvel Studio. She couldn't choose. Well, if you had to pick one, Melissa. Just pick one. I think it's probably going to be Marvel for you guys. If I know you and Walt, I don't want to speak for you and Walt, but I feel like it is. Jacob says buying Marvel to bring me the MCU. You and I are on the same wavelength as well, Jacob. So we've got at least 2 Marvels there. Looks like Captain Ackard said Marvel as well. Yes, Marvel wins. I think, look, we're so thankful for what he brought to the Disney parks, Disney Plus, things he's done with ESPN, ABC, bringing us Star Wars and Lucasfilm. But I think the biggest impact that he's made on culture has been the MCU. Pixar also tied for first. Got you. So we've got 2 ties for Pixar and for Marvel there. But yeah, Marvel just barely. Melissa says if she had to pick one there. So there you go. That's your choices there. Of what you had in terms of, or my choices in terms of what I really wanted to see, or what I wanted to really be thankful about for Bob Iger's time here. And we talked a little bit about the opinions of Bob Chapek being here or not. Melissa, how about this? If you and Walt are sitting there, it's just you. Do you think it was a good choice to bring Bob Chapek in as the CEO? And how about this? For those of you that said no earlier when we were asking about it, while I'm going through these last bit of announcements, tell me what you think or who should be the CEO, other than Bob Iger, because he's gone. He gone. All right, little announcements for you before we get out of here. As I talked about earlier, we had our new Clone Wars Season 7 review that's up now. We also literally just dropped trailer reaction an hour ago, so go check that out. We'll be talking about that more on our trivia night. Our Facebook group, Disney Through Your Eyes, you can find attached to our Facebook page. We have a group as well. Come join the community and hang out, share pictures, ask questions, start conversations. It's there for you. Let's talk about trivia night. There is our new leaderboard. Allie Rose still at the top, increasing her lead. Captain Akron, I see you there. Jacob, I see you there. Melissa and Walt, Mouse Talk's still up there, but Melissa has not made her way onto the top 10 yet, but I bet she can make it up there. I believe in you. 2 Real Geeks too. Danny, you guys got to be there more on the trivia night, so you can make your way up that leaderboard again. But right now, it looks like that Allie Rose has a commanding lead at the point. But let's talk about what the actual theme for this Thursday night is going to be. Drum roll, please. I don't have a drum roll. It's Onward. I think Jacob guessed it earlier. But there you have it. Onward will be the theme for next Thursday's trivia night. There you go. Wait, I changed Pixar to my 1.5 spot. Interesting. That's an interesting thing there. My grammar and syntax mistakes suck today. Apologies. Hey, look, have you listened to me talk on these things? I don't judge. No judgment here whatsoever. But yeah, let's see. Kyle, you should do a Marvel DC face-off sometime. When I have some time, my man, I will definitely put that on the list of things to do. I have a list of videos and things over here that you guys can't even see. I've got box openings. I've got vlogs I've got to get out. I got so many things for you guys that I just got to get on right there. But yeah. Rachel Vivian, nice to see you. Thanks for being here on Monday night. We're actually about to head out, but thank you for stopping in. I was right. Jacob, you were right. Onward will be the theme for this week. It's not like it was that much of a shock. If you've been here enough, you learn my patterns. So there you go. Hell, I got to not be driving these nights. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you got to make sure either wait to come home and watch the show, and then drive home, or drive home fast. No, don't drive home fast. Don't listen to me. Just get home safe, Danny. Just don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Melissa says I'm not excited about Onward. I will tell you this. I am more excited for it. I'm hopeful. I think I'm going to have a very deep connection to this, because not to bring the house down a little bit, but like I lost my father a few years back now. I think it was like 5 years. So with this being a father and son type of story, and them trying to get him back, I think I'm really going to connect with it. So that's kind of why I'm excited for it. But that's just why. That's one thing for me here. Rachel's nervous about it too, and I'll try to catch you guys again on trivia night. Yeah, please come back to trivia night if you can. We loved having you there this last Thursday night, and love for you to be here again too. Don't really have any desire to see it, but see. So now here's the thing: Walt doesn't like to go see the live action remakes. Doesn't seem like you want to go see the new stuff. So y'all got like a little conundrum there. So it's basically the Marvel stuff is what it is for you there, it sounds like. Man, everybody's getting here at the end. Stevie Lee, nice to see you. We're actually about to head out, but thank you for stopping in. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Those of you that stopped in live here, or even if you're watching this on the replay, I really appreciate you being here. Hope to see you this Thursday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time to do Onward Trivia. Onward! And hope to see you back here next Monday night when we have a Disney topic on our weekly Disney Hangout. Thank you all so much for being here. Until we assemble again, may the Force be with you, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.